Alright, so we are midway through the year, and let's be real, this wasn't the best year ever. But with all this spare time that we have on our hands, it's possible that some of you are looking for a very capable smartwatch that could basically do it all. My personal favorite smartwatch is the Apple Watch for a bunch of different reasons, as it's perfected so well that it could do everything that a smart wearable can do, like a Fitbit. But unlike those other fitness trackers, the Apple Watch design is still one of the best. In fact, now those fitness trackers are trying to look and resemble of something like the Apple Watch. The Apple Watch always had a really slick minimum look and is more than capable of just simply keeping track of your activity levels. It's able to answer calls, reply to text messages, and there's so much more. So if you are in the market for an Apple Watch, in reality, you have two choices to choose from. You could get the entry-level Apple Watch, which happens to be currently the Series 3, which starts at $199. Or you could go ahead and get the latest and greatest Series 5 Apple Watch, which is the two Apple Watches that we're gonna go ahead and discuss about to help you decide between the Series 3 or the Series 5. And we're also going to talk about if it's better if you to actually wait a few more months until the Series 6 is out. If it's really worth waiting based from everything that we know so far. So the Series 3, all you need to really know about if you're buying it brand new is that it comes available in both an LTE version or a standard GPS version. Then depending on your cellular service, this also applies for the Series 5. If you want to stay connected at all times without having to travel with your phone, you can activate the cellular service, which commonly is just an additional $10, and there's a one-time activation fee. Exterior-wise, the main difference between a cellular version and a non-cellular version Apple Watch is on the Series 3 you see this red dot, and on the Series 4 and 5 there's like a little red ring that goes around the digital crown. But you don't need to have the cellular version to track your GPS runs or other outdoor activities that you're doing, as GPS is standard and there's no service fee required to have this feature activated. So there's two size options to choose from for both the Series 5 and the Series 3. We're just going to go ahead and focus on the Series 3 for this part. There's the smaller 38mm and then there's the larger 42mm. This is all just a personal preference on which one you feel fits better on your wrist, but for this body design, I personally always choose the larger one because it could fit a lot more information on that OLED display that the Series 3 has. There's also a Nike version available for these watches as well. For the Series 3, the Nike version is only available in space gray, and if you're buying a space gray sport, I would highly recommend getting at least the Nike version because it's the same price and you get exclusive watch faces and exclusive additional color options to choose from to really personalize the watch face for the Series 3. Now, although watchOS 7 is fully supported for the Series 3, there is some features that it doesn't receive compared to the Series 5, which I'll talk more about in a little bit. So all the important smartwatch features is here in the Series 3, such as this Apple Watch is more than capable to calculate your calories burns. It's able to count your steps. If you receive an incoming or an outgoing call, you can answer and pick up on your wrist, as well as read your messages and reply with Siri, with dictation, or scribbles. Literally, all the important things you expect a smartwatch to do can be done on the Series 3. It does have 8GB of internal storage, which you can store some of your playlists onto the main device. So you could literally connect it to external headphones like AirPods and go out for a ride and leave your phone behind so you can still listen to your music on the go. And then with AirPods, you have access to the control center, which if you're using AirPods Pro, you could toggle between noise cancellation or transparency mode off your wrist. Then with all this feature, from my experience, at the end of the day, both the Series 3 and the Series 5 can still achieve the same all-day battery life from my personal usage. And the main safety features can also be found on the Series 3. If you need to get a hold of emergency dispatchers, you can simply hold down the power button and you can slide for an SOS. And if you're at a store and there's a terminal, Apple Pay is fully supported on the Series 3 as well. And if you're concerned if this watch is waterproof, it is. It's water resistant up to 50 meters, which you can swim in a pool and track your lap times and such. It has unique features, which also the Series 5 has, like the ability to eject water out of the speaker. So once you're done swimming, you can literally rotate the digital crown and it will eject as much water as possible. And don't forget, it still is also equipped with a heart rate sensor, which can measure not just your heart rate, but will also automatically keep track of your heart rate at rest and also data of your heart rate when you're active. So the Series 5, for $200 more, what can it do that the Series 3 can't? Well, this is the quick lowdown. The Series 5 is an advanced version of the Series 3, if I may say. Because for starters, it could do everything that basically we just covered that the Series 3 can do. You see, the Series 3, although it doesn't seem like it, if the heart rate detects an unusual heart pattern, it will warn you, notifying you that you may be experiencing some health complications. The Series 5 also does this, but the Series 5 is equipped with an ECG that can be used to confirm this, and also will allow you to document this and export it as a PDF to show to your personal doctor. And then the Series 5 did receive that new redesigned body that we saw for the Series 4, which means the screen to body ratio is larger. I find this curved display a lot more pleasant to look at compared to the Series 3 with this rectangular display. As text, it's more easy to read because everything can fit in one display a lot easier without having to scroll a lot with the digital crown. Now, there is two sizes to choose from. The one you see here, this is my 44mm, but there's also a 40mm. And in my opinion, the 40mm doesn't face the same issue that the smaller Series 3 Apple Watch faces. For a smaller size Apple Watch, this one actually fits a lot of information on that small display. So if you have a smaller wrist, it's easier to read stuff on these smaller 40mm compared to the 38mm. So again, both of these smartwatches support watchOS 7. But even though the Series 3 supports watchOS 7, it didn't really receive all the massive features and upgrades in its software. Yes, the animation did get sped up a bit, and I want to say the performance has been slightly enhanced, but the Series 3 was the only one, and the Series 4, that got a bunch of new watch faces to choose from, which is a massive deal because these new watch faces aren't just there for looks. Some of these actually have some really useful tools. For instance, that new Chronograph Pro, it has a built-in tachometer. Then the previously added Infograph is still one of the few watch faces that can hold the most complications for all your shortcuts. And then the Series 5 has a lot more safety features compared to the Series 3. For instance, when enabled, it actually has a built-in decibel reader, which will always monitor the environment that you're in. So if it notices that you've been exposed to high decibel levels for X amount of time, that's shown to cause some kind of harm to your ears, it will send you a push notification to your wrist, giving you the heads up that it's time for you to go to a place that's quiet before you may cause some harm. And then the gyroscope and the accelerometer has also been improved to the point that the Series 5 and the Series 4 can actually identify a hard impact fall and can get a hold of emergency dispatchers to your spot in case you're unresponsive. There's literally a bunch of articles online of people sharing their experience with this feature. There's a bunch of crazy stories out there about how fall detection has saved many users' lives. And then thanks to the accelerometer and gyroscope, it also has the new feature that just got recently added where the watch, based from the sound and the movements, will automatically start a 20-second timer if you enable this, which is known to kill all germs and bacteria and all that stuff. And then new for the Apple Watch, which is currently only exclusive to the Series 5 currently, and that is the always on display. Now this feature, in my opinion, it's awesome, but it's not really necessary. The only times I really benefit from this always on display is when I have to take a quick glance up to time by simply just looking at it from the angle instead of having to actually manually raise my wrist or tap on the display. It's a cool feature, but it's not really a big selling point for me. Just like the compass, the Series 5 is the only smart Apple Watch, the only one that actually has a built-in compass, but to be honest, this is something I don't really use, and even if I have to use it, our phones already have a built-in compass by default nowadays. And then in terms of internal hardware between the 3 and the 5, the basics, it's basically this. The Series 3 only has 8 GB of internal storage, while the Series 5 has a total of 32 GB. What does this extra storage means? Well, not only do you have more space to download a bunch of third-party apps, also store your playlists, but also makes the Series 3 future-proof in the long run because these last few updates have been massive for the Series 3, and it's starting to get to a point where these future updates may be super large that the Series 3 very unlikely to receive another massive firmware upgrade next year. And then the processor between the Series 3 and the 5, the Series 5 is noticeably quicker, especially when you turn it on for the first time. But once it's on, the speed differences when it comes to launching applications between these two Apple Watches, it's only off by a few seconds. So there's no dramatic performance increase once the watch is already turned on. And yes, the Series 5 is also water resistant, same rating as the Series 3, so 30 minutes up to 50 meters underwater. So in conclusion, both of these Apple Watches are absolutely amazing. But if you're on a strict budget, you can't go wrong with the Series 3, as it's more than capable to track all your fitness activities and such, as well as miles you walk and all that good stuff. For $200, it's a great overall value. But I do believe it's on its last leg in terms of software support by Apple. So to better future-proof yourself, if this is gonna be a device you plan on using day to day on a daily basis, even when you're not working out, you might be better off just going with the Series 5. Especially since it's using the new Apple Watch design. And don't forget, there's more peace of mind with the Series 5 since it has the fall detection and other safety features that could possibly save your life. But if you already have an Apple Watch, like let's say you already have a Series 3, maybe a Series 4, or an older Apple Watch, I would just encourage you to just wait a little bit longer, because in less than 6 months or so, we should be seeing a new Series Apple Watch. Now, based from current leaks, not much has been said about the Series 6, but it's very likely it's gonna maintain all the features that the Series 5 has, and there's a high possibility that it's gonna have a new blood oxygen sensor to level your oxygen levels. And there's a slight chance we may see a solid state button for the power button on the Series 6 based from images that were found in the beta version of iOS 14. So there's a quick rundown of everything there is to know about these two Apple Watches and what to expect next. Hopefully you got some good information out of this video. If you want to see the performance differences between the Series 3 and the Series 5, I went ahead and cover an in-depth review video in here, which you can go ahead and watch, where I test every single Series watch against each other and check out the performance. And then this video over here, that's just a video of all my favorite accessories that I'm currently using on my Apple Watch. But links to this band and other accessory you might have saw in this video will also be linked in the video description down below, as well as a quick link to where you get these posters in case you were curious. But anyway, folks, thank you so much for watching. Take care, and I'll catch you all in the next one. See ya.